Hey, Paige.
Hey, Melissa.
So, can you introduce yourself and just tell us what you do?
I'm a leadership coach. So I help stressed out women who are put into jobs without support. I provide them with that support and help them to support others, basically. So,
So, I'm loving having you in Six Figure Frequency, and I want you to tell me, like, what were you wanting to achieve? Like, what were you wanting to create at the time that you decided to join? Like, what problems were you facing?
I joined the program and I hadn't made any money in my business up to that point. And I just tried to make some money. And I did make some money from that. And that helped me to see that actually the only thing getting in my way of making money was me.
What was the thoughts that you were having that was holding you back, you think?
I knew the value of what I was offering and I believed I was comfortable with charging it. But when it came time to actually go to people and ask for that money, there were a whole bunch of blocks there. So I'm still working through that with your program, but I have realized that there's definitely blocks around, going all the way back to childhood and throughout. I've got these blocks around the way that I can use money, whether I'm doing it the right way or not, as if there's a right way, but as if I'm doing it the right way. And also around my ability to hold money. I think that's quite crucial for me. I discovered through your program that I have a specific upper limit of about $3,000, and that's how much I'm comfortable having across all of my accounts, which doesn't really work when you're starting a business and you want to be able to hire people and you need a little bit more. Yeah, I think the more I go throughout your program, the more I see different things that need to be unlocked, but that's also really helpful because I'm starting to unlock them and work through them. So it's kind of unlocked this spaciousness in terms of how I can make money. So previously I kind of had, this one idea of, okay, I can make money by selling this one thing. And then, now I'm looking at all the opportunities for making money. And I'm also being grateful for the money that comes in. So even, like I got a tax return for something that I had done sort of a year ago. And I even view that as like, this is money coming in. Like there's so many opportunities to bring that money in. All of it matters. So yeah, I think it's unlocked that spaciousness and it's definitely helped me get more intentional around making money and actually, like through your worksheets, it's like, okay, well, what action steps are you going to take? So there's the mindset and the spiritual element, but it's all brought back into the tangible, okay, now do the thing. Now you
Love.
understand what you've unlocked, do the work to fix it and do the work to actually start making more money.
And I think that's like happening in the group right now in a really beautiful way. A bunch
Yeah.
of everyone is just like, this happened and this money came in and this money came in, and it's just like I'm loving basking, and everybody's just like, I just opened the door, all the money can come in now. It's really great. So I'm really happy that that's your experience too.
In 100%, this program would unlock the potential for me to make far more money back than it is. And honestly, for what you're getting, it's a really good price. Yeah, I've learned obviously my upper limit with money and also my lower limit with money. And I've been able to look at when I start to reach that upper limit, what the behaviors are. So I'll start spending money on things, or I'll stop trying to get money because I feel like I'm at my capacity. And yeah, there's been so much that's kind of come out of it. I've also learned that I need to be more intentional about making money, that you can't kind of just sit there and say, oh, I will make this money from this program and then not actually do the work, and that you have to do a lot of that mindset work in the background to get you there as well. So your program's helped with the direction, having guidance on how I can get more intentional about my money mindset, and which therefore leads me to make money, which is awesome.
Love.
I was loving the program. I was kind of understanding myself more, and especially my relationship with money and how that was showing up in my life. So at that point, I think it was all about kind of the big revelations. Um, and now I think that it's far more about the actions that have come from working on those revelations, and also seeing how it's all really cyclical. Yeah, and you just kind of, you keep discovering more about yourself, taking action on it, and that leads to something else, and just the exponential growth that can come from that, which is super exciting. And I went back and I looked at some of the like the targets I'd set for myself earlier on in the program that you kind of have us set, and I looked at it and I can remember thinking, oh, that seems really unattainable, and now I look at it and I'm like, you've done that plus more and that seems small to you, and that was really exciting. So
Can you share with us, what did you make possible with you doing the inner work and then showing up from the place of like taking action in alignment with what that created inside of you?
Yeah, so at the time of me joining, I knew that I felt like I needed sales help. Like I was really struggling to kind of sell myself, but part of me also believed that there was that piece that related to my relationship with money, and that's why I kind of invested in this, because it wasn't just like I needed sales techniques. It was actually there's something stopping me from implementing any of the techniques out there, and I need to work on those mindset blocks,
Like,
right?
what
So
did you create? What did you receive? What did you pull out of the sky from your wish list when we started the program?
yeah, so I guess what I've received is I've shown up in a massive way in my business, which you've seen. So I've shown up, and I made double what I'd ever made before, and also what I'd made previously was, how amazing, right? And what I'd made previously was on an event that had cost me a lot of money. So actually, and the offer that I'm selling now, you know, a leadership coaching program, there isn't a huge amount of costs behind that. So it's been a lot of profit, but it's also been making money in a way that like really lit me up, where I was like, oh my gosh, I could do this over and over again. And I see the results, and I can feel the results. And I love live events, and I would like to continue doing that sort of down the track in little bits. But I think for me, I was like, actually, you can make money in so many different ways. Which way kind of lights you up, which is a huge part of your program as well. It's not chasing money for money's sake, or anything like that. It's about, how do you want to make money, and how can you make money in a way that gasses you up so that you continue to make more money and you love doing it.
Yes to all of that.
And the other thing that I kind of loved, which came out earlier in the program, is I realized around my like upper limiting with money, where once it started coming in, I would start spending it in lots of ways. So that kind of occurred to me early on in the program. And so then when this money came in, I was really curious about kind of what my behaviors were, or what my triggers. So it's not so much about just bringing it in, but also about what you do with it when it's there and how you feel about it. Because honestly, there's some days where I look at my account and it has more money than the day before, but I feel worse. So that's where, you know, there's all of that kind of mindset stuff behind it. And you can't, and you think just making more and more money is going to make you feel better, but if you don't treat the underlying symptom, it's not, and you'll just spend it and it'll never be enough. And the other point that I wanted to make there, because you talk about failure, and for me, one of the big wins that came out of it was that you kind of pushed me to do things that I didn't feel I was ready for, and I failed at some of it, and I still feel great about it. So you know, like you don't make that progress unless you fail. But also I do feel like I got more of that acceptance. It's not more just like look at yourself without judging. You actually help guide people through how to do that, and you encourage people to fail and then see it's actually not that bad.
We go for the small goals, and it's like there's nothing wrong with small goals. Go for whatever goal you want, but sometimes we go for the small goal because we want to play it safe. And we think if we go for the bigger goal, then the fail will be harder. And it's like, it doesn't mean anything at all, actually.
It means that you tried, you know, like, and to other people, it means that. And I think it engages people wanting to support you more. When people can see you doing scary things, they're more invested in your journey, and people want to help people, honestly. So, yeah.
Tell me, what do you think was the most valuable thing you got from the program? Besides cash?
Probably valuable, but also surprising is that, and it's hard for me to measure this, but I personally believe that my relationship with my family and potentially our relationship with money has now changed, because how I have those discussions with people, and also, you know, there's so much that you kind of guide us through in terms of how your fears about how family or friends might react to you making money or you doing that thing, how that could be holding you back. And I did so much internal work on that, where I got really excited about all the things that I could provide for people, or all the ways they could be with me on that journey. And I shared that with them. I shared that with my mum and my sister. And I do feel like it might have changed our relationship. I knew you'd get all gushy about this, but so you come into a program, you're like, this is what I want. And then at the end of the program, if you've evolved in a different way, that's still a win. And I couldn't have known all of the ways where I would evolve and continue to evolve. So yeah, I'm proud of myself for backing this, but I have so much gratitude and appreciation for you for showing up and doing this work and building this community. And thanks, lovely.
Anything you want to share with somebody who's thinking about, I mean, like you could offer anything else. It's like you've already said amazing things, but that you could say to someone who's like on the fence or just not sure if the program is for them, or like anyone who's just curious, interested.
Yeah, part of me would encourage them, because I know you do like a free chat where you can talk about the stuff that's cropping up so they can get that trial. And I know people get worried about stuff like that because they think it's just a sales pitch, right? But legitimately you can hang up on Melissa and still have got the genius if you want to. I think you need support. I honestly think you need support to kind of grow in these areas and to back yourself. And if you're sitting there trying to push yourself to do it, you haven't really been able to push yourself to do anything this far anyway, or you've kept hitting those blocks. So I would just encourage them to talk to you and to say, here are my doubts. And I know it'll be an honest conversation with you, right? Where it'll be like, here's what I think's cropping up. It's like, I can help you with this, or also like, now you know, here's the work you can do. So either way, I think it's a complete win. Spending time with you is a complete win.